Okay, so hi guys, it's Allison Marie, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. So, as you can tell by the title of today's video, we're talking about the specs required for inZOI. The dev team put it out earlier today, however, it was either earlier today or yesterday. Anyways, when it came out, I wasn't able to record the video immediately because I was working on some other videos, so that way, there's content going on the channel until inZOI comes out. So, there have been a lot of questions I've been asked in Facebook groups and my friends and other players that I personally know that want to play this game but have been wondering, like, will their PC run in? I'm basically the resident person to ask because I know a lot about computers. So, a lot of people have been asking me, and I even put in like the inZOI group on Facebook, like what are the required specs, and I might even post this again if nobody's posted it. But yeah, so the inZOI dev team, or Henry, in their Discord posted this yesterday, 8:47 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. Actually, the exact same time I am recording this. Really, you can see the clock on the screen. But they posted this, and these are basically the minimum basically the specs required to play on all settings. So at minimum spec, you need an i5-10400 processor and an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many cores a Ryzen i5-10400 is. Let me see. Okay, so it is 6 cores and 12 threads. So that, I think technically speaking, I don't know much about threads, but that, as I said, it's a 6-core, 12-thread processor. Basically, as a general rule of thumb, any processor 10th gen and up, I would say minus an i3. I would never go below an i5 with this. I don't even think they make i3s anymore, honestly. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Or Ryzen 5. I don't really know much about Ryzen processors, but it says that this is like the comparable for Intel. Like, I only know about Intel and NVIDIA. I don't really know anything about AMD or Radeon. So, I'm not one to like talk about those, but for reference, and I don't think this is going to run on Mac. If anyone is wondering, I don't think it's going to run on Mac unless you have a M4 chip. Because I have been able to play The Sims 4 on my M3, but I never tried to play the demo on my MacBook. But with The Sims 4, it gets a little warm. My Sims 4 gets a little warm, so I would say no. I would say no generally on a laptop, just because for heating and cooling, just for cooling purposes. That way the CPU doesn't get too hot, because if the CPU gets too warm, then the whole computer will shut down, and it's not going to be a good It's not going to be a good thing. So yeah, recommended is a i7 12700K if you want to play on recommended specs. But the minimum spec requirement is an i5-10400 for the CPU. Now, for RAM. The minimum required RAM is 12 gigs of RAM. It doesn't say the speed of the RAM, so just go with 2666 megahertz. I don't even know how you get, like, a kit of 12 gig of RAM. Honestly, I don't know, because normally a kit comes with 16 gigs, because it's normally 2 8 gig. Let me reiterate what I'm saying. It is normally 2 8 gig sticks of RAM in a kit of RAM, because RAM comes in 2 sticks, either 16. Well, it could come single channel memory instead of dual channel. But if you're doing dual channel, it comes in 16, 32, or 64. I've yet to see a 128 gig kit of RAM in a 2 DIMM kit. 2 DIMM kit. you have to normally get 2 64 gig kits. So yeah, don't really know much about the processing speed for the memory. Just go with this. And obviously the more RAM you have, the better. Because basically the random access memory, which is RAM, which is what RAM stands for, is the quick access of the computer. So like you have like the storage on the computer, which is what in the Windows is installed to, inZOI is installed to, all your processes and things like that. That's what that's installed to. But the random access memory, or RAM, is very quick access thing. So like Chrome tabs and things like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. But obviously the faster the RAM is, the better the game is going to run. Now, graphics cards. The minimum required graphics card is an NVIDIA RTX 2060 with 6 gigs of VRAM, or an AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT, which is the same gen of GPU. So the 2060 and the 5600 are basically the equivalent of each other in the year that it came out, which I believe was 2018 or 2019. I'm not exactly sure. But these two are the equivalent. Each one of these is the equivalent. So, yeah, this graphics card will be good. It's always not best to run on with the lowest spec requirements, but some people don't really have a choice. As of right now, like my computer meets this and sort of meets this because I have a 2070 Super graphics card in my current computer, but I do plan to upgrade my GPU and, well, not even GPU, my whole computer in the next couple of months. I'm just unable to do it right now due to finances, but recommended, it says recommended to be a 3070. I think that's honestly perfect. Because a 3060 is kind of similar to like a 2070 Super or 2080 Ti for reference. So if you have a 2070 Super or 2080 Ti, you can run it on medium spec because they're very similar to a 3060. There is some slight differences, maybe a couple FPS, but for a majority they're required, like it'll work. And for reference, if you have a GTX card, don't even try, because this game requires ray tracing, and that's basically what that's what RTX stands for. RTX is the ray tracing capability of the graphics card. Basically, it makes the game look pretty. Put it in layman's terms, it makes the game look pretty, and it makes it look crisper and more high quality and more HD, even on low spec. So that's kind of what RTX is. I know there's like a whole memes of like RTX on, RTX off. So I would at least say have to have an RTX card. If you don't, put your money into it. That's why it says it's RTX 2060, because that was the first ever NVIDIA RTX graphics card. So, and then storage 50 gigs, medium on medium settings. I don't really see why the storage changes. I don't see, maybe, like, I honestly can't see why the storage changes. That makes no sense to me. And I forgot to mention, it's all running on DirectX 12, which The Sims 4 just upgraded to DirectX 11 a couple months ago. I don't know when, but a couple months ago. And then if you want to run the game on recommended specs, this is where the price of computers starts to get a little bit more expensive, closer to like the $2,000 range. So like I would say like this would be like maybe like $800 or $1,000 computer, maybe even $500 computer. Actually, I could probably spec this on PC Part Picker for around $800. If I remember in editing, I'll put together these specs on PC Part Picker for each one. So I would say is around $900. This is maybe around like $1,100, somewhere around there. This is around, I want to say like $1,600. And a 4080 is around like $3,000, because it is the high tier graphics card from last gen. of NVIDIA. It's not the 4090 by any means, but it's still RTX 4080. And I was going to get a 4080 PC. However, I didn't get approved for financing because I've never ordered through the company before. So they said they couldn't approve me for financing. And the 4080 and 4080 Super is just one tier below the 4090. So, now I'm a little bit honestly confused why they put a 14700K with a 4080 instead of an i9 14900K with a 4080. That kind of confuses me a slight bit. I would have gone for the 14900K and i9, well, I should say i9 14900K, because of the simple fact of the matter that if you have a 4080, yeah, 14700K will work, but it's not going to be quite as zippy as it would be with a 14900K. But I mean, it still work. And then the Ryzen processor would be an AMD Ryzen 9800X3D. Again, I really know nothing about Ryzen. I recommend watching Linus Tech Tips or Tech Source if you want to know more about Ryzen processors, mainly Linus Tech Tips. Memory, 32 gigs of RAM, which is what I currently have on my computer. And I would say, generally speaking, for RAM and even graphics for this game, always prepare to be a little bit above. So, like, if it says 14700K, for like, that is what you have to have, try to get a 14900K. So basically, to run this game on high settings, you have to have top of the line, balls to the walls computer, like a $4,000, $5,000 computer. And again, 4080 will work. I'd probably go for 4090 or 4080 Super, just so that way you're not running at like minimum high. Like, it can run high, but if you want to stream and record at the same time, I would probably go for 4080 Super or 4090 or 5080 or 5080 or 5090 at this point, because the 5000 series is out. And then same 7900 XTX is the same thing as like a 4090, and no, 7950 XTX is a 4090. And then like an 8000 series, like an 8900 XTX or 8950 XTX would be the equivalent to like a 5080 or 5090. And then DirectX 12, and then internet connection is required, which is obvious. And then 75 gigs of storage is required for the game, which, as I said earlier, this last line makes little to no sense to me, because the game is only going to take up so much unless like the saves take up more space because you're running on higher graphics. Cause like I'm not a technician. I've just done a lot of research on gaming PCs, but I genuinely don't see why like the storage requirements would change. One reason I could think is, as I said, is if the higher your graphical like settings are in this game, the bigger the save files. That'd be like my only guess as to why you would need more storage. But yeah, so I went on a tangent for a little bit, but I hope this video kind of helps you guys make determinations whether your computer will be good enough to play this game or whether you need to upgrade your computer. As I said earlier, mine is technically fine. However, I already need to upgrade my computer for like other reasons besides like this game. And it just so happens that this game is also coming out, so that's nice. I hope to get a new computer within the month. It's just, I'm waiting on a few things, and then I'll be able to get one probably, as I said, probably about this time next month maybe, or at least in May I'll be able to get one, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and ding the little notification bell. Also, YouTube is being a little bit of a pain in the butt right now because I'm not updating like my view count on like my main thing. It's weird. I don't know what it's doing, but it's like stuck at like 79,000 views, even though according to YouTube Studio it's at like 85,000. So thank you guys so much for like boosting my channel, like almost 20,000 views. Really appreciate that. Because I think before I posted the inZOI video, the first inZOI video, I was at like 60 some thousand. So I'm almost at like 80,000. So really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. And thank you so much for all the support. Because of you guys, I was able to actually become part of the YouTube Partner Program. I'm currently waiting to set everything up for memberships and things like that. And I'm currently waiting for like things to update to completely have like ads running on the channel. So I greatly appreciate you guys more than words can even tell. So yeah, I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Only 16 days to inZOI at this point. Well, technically 15, because it'll come out the 17th at around 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I love you all, and thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in my next inZOI video, or my next video period, whenever I find out more information. Bye guys.